Check my pedigree, I got legacy in my pop. You playing hopscotch on that top notch on the block. Slip and slide like me, nah. Spice it up with a sauce. Yeah, my Lord said don't do it. I said bop, 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 bop. Yeah, my Lord said don't do it. I said bop. Yeah, my Lord said don't do it. I said run it up, can you keep up? Play follow the leader. Big queso, I'm born with the ether, but I still took a heater. No halo, I've been with a handgun. I've been on my King Kong. On payload, I've been on. What? Check my pedigree, I got legacy in my pop. You playing hopscotch on that top notch on the block. Slip and slide like me, nah. Spice it up with a sauce. Yeah, my Lord said don't do it. I said what? Check my pedigree, I got legacy in my pop. You playing hopscotch on that top notch on the block. Slip and slide like me, nah. Cholula with the sauce. Yeah, my Lord said don't do it. I said what?
One of these two teams will close out the day one win away from securing Masters Toronto. Will it be Los Niños going back to that 2024 form that we saw, or will it be Fnatic revitalized and actually going back to 2023? Matt, Veto is up. Tom, please walk me through this.
Well, I think immediately just seeing that Pearl out, not really too much of a surprise. But the main surprise for me is that Haven pick. It's something that Heretics are obviously very confident on, but I always thought that was a shoo-in for the third map, especially with Icebox being something we haven't seen much from Fnatic. I would have flipped those two, and that's where I expected the Veto to go. Instead, you could argue Fnatic come in with their two best maps in the pool right now to kick off the series. So it just shows how confident Heretics are that they can beat them potentially with the exact same composition.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that is not mentioned in this graphic is that Team Heretics was the one who won the coin toss, so they decided to be Team B, putting Fnatic in the predicament that they have to be the ones banning Pearl, because Team Heretics has also banned it in the past. If it's not the Pearl, it's the Fracture, so it's a good advantage for them. And they decide to go for the ban of Split, which every single time that Split has been open, Ulises, Fnatic has decided to pick it.
Yeah, obviously they went into a map that they feel comfortable. And for me, seeing the Veto right now, I think we can have even one of the biggest toms or one of the biggest matches. Because we are going to have Lotus, Heaven, and Icebox, 3 maps to fight over with 2 teams that are probably the best ones from EMEA right now. Or they prove to be among the best.
Yeah, I think for the, going into that first map, especially talking about Lotus, you know that a solid attack side is going to be coming from Fnatic. I think they are the best team probably ever when you look at the history of this map at playing with those rotations, constantly switching back and forth on the attack side, finding gaps in your defense. And then the opposing side have been running that sort of Neon Teo. Neo, there you go. Neo. Accidentally combined it. Mitch has done that before. And it allows for such levels of aggression that potentially you could see that taken away. I also want to point on Riens as well. If he's going to be playing that Breach, I think he's someone that somehow is still underrated, an insane individual skill player. But on this map in particular, how he's going to be able to set up those aggressive plays is going to be integral. And as said, Fnatic are very happy to sit back and wait. They will, however, be starting on that attack side, and that means that we're going to see that pacey Miniboo diving into sites and putting pressure on the likes of Althea, who's going to look to lock down C.
And I would like to know if Fnatic is going to be able to be fighting for Rubble. They normally like to do it, but you have a Neon plus Breach stuns, and also the utility from Tejo. It's hard to deal with Heretics compo, and they will have strong time to figure out where they're attacking when they cannot have control of any of the pre-sides.
Yeah, and thinking about the reps, right? Fnatic, they're experts in this composition. They've run it a lot of times. And this year, they're completely undefeated on the side of Team Heretics. I would concerned that they only have that one rep against Giant X with this composition. Or maybe do you think, Tom, that it gives them an edge because they haven't shown everything that they possibly have?
I don't think that Fnatic are going to be blown away with the surprise of this composition, but I do think that especially the Killjoy can be a little bit more difficult to run when you have a tail on the other side. Your delay and your setup can be obliterated if those salvos are put into good positions.
Okay, guys, let's wait no longer. I don't know about you, but besides the feeling 22, I missed Pampok, so I'm just going to toss it over to them again to see if maybe they want to cast this match again. As well, sorry.
Nah, don't worry, Bayo. We are genuinely very on for this one. We are very excited for this. Fnatic up against Heretics. It is the best of the best, right? We've had the best of EMEA through, 2023 up against now the 2024 team that kind of took the crown from them. We've got both undefeated sides, both vying for that one game away from getting into Toronto. That's what it is. There's so much on the line between these two, both in great form currently. After what was really a bit of an underwhelming start to the year, both have recovered.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I wouldn't even say this is almost redemption, but this is kind of return to expectations. When you look at both of these rosters coming in, I mean, early on, there were questions around Crashes and whether or not he'd be able to find his footing. True. I think that question's been answered massively on the side of Fnatic. And even you think back to, what Alfio was saying in one of the interviews, I'm seeing movement and some question marks on the player count, so I'll keep talking for the time being. Alfie, they're talking about everybody being, they're having fun, they're feeling confident, and I think that's a byproduct of why we see a clean record on Fnatic's side.
I mean, it's been marvelous seeing them put all the pieces together for the Fnatic side, and of course for Heretics as well. Similar things, watching them bounce back. It's hard to be a deep run team these days, it feels like. I mean, you only have to look as far to EDG, for example. Very hard at times to maintain consistency. Wound. It is a little fresh. But it's true, right? It is very hard to maintain that level of dominance. I think a lot of teams have suffered that, the Champions curse, for example, being out there. But obviously, we're going to have a little bit of a remake here. We do have a monitor issue, I believe. So, we will get that restarted for you guys. Hopefully, it won't take too long. Again, apologies for this. We're just going to get everything right here.
Well, with new equipment in,
yes.
I guess it's better to happen now, the start of the series, before getting a map underway. But
the hate watchers are eating so good right now.
Yeah.
There's Reddit threads. I don't
even want to refresh the VLR tab right now.
No. They're eating today. But as I said, let's get it all started now. Again, a lot of the kind of additional time we've been taking to getting into these games, in between the games and what have you, it has been to get the players comfortable with the new setup, get everything right. We are trying everything we can to ensure this goes smoothly. We don't want those stop and starts. So, sadly, yes, it has happened at the beginning here, but fortunately, this should be a quick fix, I want to say. Just because it is a monitor issue, I do hope, at worst, it'll be a change-out, but that's not been said yet. So, fingers crossed we get back in nice and quickly. We have had an update just now. We've got about 3 minutes, hopefully. If all goes to plan, we're about 3 minutes away from jumping back in. So, again, thank you. Thank you for bearing with us.
That's a tiny tech pause.
So far.
Yeah.
So far.
But I do want to come back as well to the composition discussion, because I think Tom's kind of hitting on some key points here in terms of the comparison. Alfia's role is kind of difficult, and it's not even to say that it's about the approach for Heretics, but just by nature, right? The anchor becomes very vulnerable when you have both initiators to set up Miniboo playing the way he is. He can get ahead of util. It's not as if, they get bogged down in choke points. They have so much util to clear space for him to move into, and that's where Miniboo has really thrived.
Yeah, bang on. Again, you could look through all of this, right? You've got the Boo against Boaster, Miniboo against Kayak. There's so many comparisons to look at with these two. And again, both of them being the kind of paragons of EMEA's excellence throughout the various years here. So it's quite nice to actually see them finally go head-to-head in this scenario, both on that rebuild phase, both finding their footing throughout this. And if I'm not mistaken, again, keep in mind, I don't have my normal notepads, they're still in Berlin somewhere, but I'm pretty sure both of them only ever lost on Split in Ascent, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So wildly similar throughout, like actually terrifyingly similar. It looks like the issue has been resolved. We're just gonna be restarting the lobby just to keep you guys up to speed. So again, shouldn't take too long, and we should be back nice and quick.
Yeah, I think the only other outlier, I guess, from this year would be the loss versus Liquid for Heretics on Lotus. Sorry, obviously back in the lower finals, but. Again, same composition. You could call that a kind of a blip in the radar, but that was with the previous composition from Heretics, which was the Astra and the Fade, I believe.
Brother, my mind doesn't go that far back these days.
Somebody somewhere.
Someone somewhere.
Yeah, somebody will be correcting that if it's incorrect. But obviously, another point that Tom made as well. It's possible to shut down Miniboo, and versus Giant X, I guess in week 2 was I wouldn't even say the one example of him being shut down, but certainly not having as much freedom, and it certainly wasn't reflected the same in terms of, you know, by the numbers, Miniboo's performance.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
which is weird to say that it was Giant X on the other side of that equation.
Isn't it? Isn't it? It certainly does make you put a little question mark by it. Just waiting to see if these issues are resolved. Seeing someone rejoining the lobby now. Again, trying to be as transparent with you guys as possible. Obviously, it's not what we were after, but I do see players starting to sit up. So things should be looking good. We've got players coming back into the lobby. So it should start nice and quickly again. Obviously, not how I wanted this one to begin, but, you know, feels like it almost had to have one. Get it out of the way, and then we'll be underway. But how are we feeling about the veto, though, Mike? Anything standing out to you here? Are you happy enough seeing it go down this way?
Yeah, I don't think any surprises. Like I said, other than the loss to Liquid, both teams very well versed on Lotus, especially with obviously Heretics finding their groove across the map pool with the Neon kind of showing here and there. I think this is probably the best showing we've seen from Heretics, certainly adopting this. Again, the breach Teo, it's not traditional, but it's to reinforce that front line. It's to put Miniboo into positions quickly, particularly on the attacking side, obviously, to get ahead of Util, get into the back lines, and completely open up rounds single-handedly.
Yeah, and again, another little update. We're just going through the ready checks now, so that should only take a moment, and then we'll be resuming shortly. So once again, thank you for your patience, and hopefully everything from this point onwards will be running smoothly. So, I'm with you on all of the points, though, Michael. I can't say I disagree at all.
Even to come back to that, I just looked at yeah, versus Giant X, it was the 13-8, and even so, Miniboo still went even in open duels. It was 6 first kills, 6 first deaths. So even if he's going to get into that position and you still find the trade, he's done his job. It's not as if, you know, I'm talking about the other maps where Miniboo's almost gone, you know, kind of double positive and absolutely farmed the enemy team.
Absolutely.
Even if the plan B is for him to get in, get his one, and then fall. I mean, the second layers being Rians and Wu, they have looked fantastic this stage.
They certainly have, and something else that looked fantastic is getting back into game. So thank you for bearing with us. We are ready to go. So jumping in, if you are just joining us, Heretics will be on the attacking side here, and Fnatic on the defense. Again, the parallels between these two feels like you could go on for hours, but we have to see the proof in the pudding once we are in on the server. Looking at this, do see the Sheriff out for Alpha and Kron, actually. So both of those going to be adopting that on the other side. Ghost with just that reinforcement of the light shields with the classics.
You're getting underway now.
Not ready yet.
We see little play out actually from C from Fnatic. So they're not going to be anybody on the other side to greet things.
Ooh.
Was on the technically on the other side, but now anticipating a flank coming through.
So aware from Woot, really heads up, time to tuck back into the pack. And that should be very informative though, but it looks like they're trying to pivot themselves through towards B.
Careful here.
Which there is a little bit of a gap, but potential here for a pinch. If that's the end goal. They're very cautious in approach here. Obviously, Wall will go up on the flank. Spike not committed just yet. It's in a bit of an awkward position with Boo here. So he's got a wide open cross now, down to 32 HP.
Yeah, he's in a bit of trouble calling back Riens potentially to try and assist here. Now, it looks like Fnatic don't want to continue down that pathing completely. You still have Alpha semi nearby, but you're going to see Chronicle rejoin towards that B site and maybe work their way back through. But a bit of a standoff, really, of who moves first. And, of course, Heretics will have to eventually get towards that A site. Benji trying to lock down towards that mini room. Boast has already cleared him. That's the, well, I mean, the wall was already triggered, but that's all that post-plant utility potentially removed. Any of that pressure he could have had. They're really cornered in on this site, Mike.
Yeah, and full control of the flank as well, with Alpha kind of hanging around here. You see the pings coming through towards Woot's position. He almost has to find something here. Actually caught in the seas, but able to duck away to the bottom of the rope.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Trying to face this smoke to get... Oh! Riens more than faces it. Finds Chronicle inside it. Do they still expect Kayak? We're going to need some pressure to come in through Tree or through CT. Something to turn the eyes away here because Heretics are pretty happy. They're not feeling pressured. Finally, the punches come back in, but Riens is on a tear here. He might be the one to have to stand and deliver all by himself, but the time has gone. And I think Crashies knows that. Beautiful attempt, but just too late.
And it almost felt like Fnatic was sitting back waiting for somebody to get aggressive on the side of Heretics, but with a blind kill into smoke from Riens, that kind of just completely stops them in their tracks. I have to see whether or not they were... Actually, the replay if we caught any of that, but whether or not they were waiting on a cooldown or something. You see then the next step being Kayak's kind of just left to wait for something to happen, but it never ends up coming through. I mean, Rien's done fantastically well.
Okay, so the right click did
The answer's there from Crashies, but like we said, the time almost deciding that one for them. The Heretics on the board first.
Again, for me, if Riens gets a bit of a heater going, then I'm on board a little bit more, right? Because I know that Miniboo can deliver. I know that we've got Wu up there. I know that we've got like Benji being a bit more clutch these days. But if Riens starts activating, getting that like good game started, that's a scary Heretics, right? That is a very scary concept. Now, in this sort of round, you're looking at what Fnatic are bringing in. It's not a great deal. Getting a good lay of the land, though, would be valuable. Understand what's going to be coming their way. Get a bit of a grip on it, and maybe try and get a couple of kills. Make it costly if they can. Again, at this point, Miniboo's got to be cautious. There's a lot of pressure in here. This seems a little bit untoward.
Oh, Riens found him. With the aftershock.
Okay, that's probably not how they wanted this to go, Mike, and I get worried here. I don't think you can make those mistakes against this Fnatic.
Whether or not the weapon being passed across is going to make a difference, but Crashy's down to 49 HP, was tagged up in that exchange. Still tagged up, but yeah, it's Woot to wrap tree and find the kill regardless. Looking for no more deaths ideally here, and yet Riens and Benji
Better.
finding 2 kills. Now just Chronicle left.
Yeah, felt like they got a bit serious towards the end then. Kind of sending in Miniboo, hey, make a play, make something happen, sure. That felt a bit too far, especially with the weapon he's coming in with. Maybe not the ideal choice. I mean, he's still got one and he died to Riens. If anything, it's not technically his fault, but felt a little bit wild. But hey, it's still Heretics. They found that stability in the end. They're going to walk away with 4 standing, and Chronicle only gets out with that Marshall.
May find. Yeah. This obviously is a lesser purchase from Heretics here. Still going to get away. I mean, the priority being the Bulldog and the Guardian.
Yeah.
Chronicle's just going to give it up to Spike now. So 2 on the board for Heretics. Again, you can see here respect shown at the start. They're kind of anticipating Fnatic maybe setting something in motion. Again, like I said, I mean, this is the fail-safe being, right? Put Miniboo in a spot as long as he's traded. But I mean, he's got his.
I guess he wasn't traded.
Riens is the one to trade it, but just ult economy. It's just controlling the ult.
Well,
economy.
welcome to Fnatic. There's going to be Odin's. There's going to be the Viper. It's going to be rough. Now, if you're Heretics, you've got to be aware of this. I want to see if that Guardian's maybe put to practice towards that. If there's something they have in mind of dissuading this positioning. We've seen that they can be a little bit versatile with be a Chronicle here or Boaster here. But I do want to see how well this gets dealt with and how far that gets checked, if I'm honest, Mike, because you can't let them stick towards this. It is so oppressive.
You've got to show respect to it. A little bit of utility invested here. Kayak's going to allow safe passage, but actually finds Miniboo.
Hey, that's the tip of the spear gone, and Miniboo's been good for it. Normally, he'll get you a 1 at least, but Woot hindered on the way across so far. Trying to slip ahead. He's made it towards this, and he's got the spike. So if he gets a little too lost in this, ooh, that could be an issue. Now, Boaster going to be challenged, is running low on bullets, down to about 8, so has to back away, pop the smoke up, get the reload, and hopefully buy a pause here, because Woot would love to just dip back to the pack, get away from this. It's a little bit too much on the plate for him. Maybe looking at other options now.
Really weird pause, but Heretic have actually found themselves a little bit of space to work with now. B site wide open for the taking. I guess from the previous series as well, we're asking the same question, testing the B site retake. Satchel will break. Oh, I actually thought it broke the plant, but it didn't.
No, still got that one through, so time on the side. 2 noted on the drone as well here. Woot still expecting maybe a swing or some pressure coming in from that top side, but eyes back towards that seaside connector. Timing on that. Ooh, he's playing it really close.
Awkward.
But he's got a corner to play into. Nice from him. Boaster could spam that out for all he likes, but Woot somehow dodging it like Neo. Only down to 66, still standing, still breathing, and down to this 4v4. Rienz starts to get the pressure going, and now they have to start pressuring back. They have to get away in, and they've got nothing here. Chronicle's got nothing to do but back away and save.
Whether or not that's going to be the setup for B-side going forwards. So typically, Fnatic able to coordinate very effectively in terms of retaking B, but not this time around. 3 on the board now. What to say? I'm curious actually. Again, eyes go towards the replay. I mean, Woot has just no respect at all towards Fnatic here with the Guardian as well, getting super aggressive. It's Rienz to set things in motion once again with the fault line also. That second push back towards CT.
They mollied them. Bro, guys.
Did they molly
I was going to say, I wanted to know where, actually, yeah.
Yeah, because it felt like Fnatic were incredibly slow at starting that retake. It felt like the tempo was completely off, so maybe there was something that hindered the progress, but you can see the impact it's already had. Heretics get to convert, you know, bonus going forward. They're on 3 and 0. They're going to start building up those ults. You heard Rienz invest his, sure, but hey, if that's your failsafe, if that's your make sure we get this one, hey, screw it. You know what I mean? That's fine. But at this point now, it's Chronicle with just that hero rifle, and that's all they got.
Yeah, I'm with you. The investment comes through, and if it's around the forces Fnatic back down to a lesser purchase, you can't question it, really. Sheriffs to complement Chronicle's rifle. Benji and Boo both find kills now.
Both sides of the map as well. C side now down, and one close on the other side. It is a Boaster smoke. Kayak tries to find a little bit of a corner to play from, get a bit cheeky, pushing up. And it's just been caught. Heretics is default. Really good awareness. I like this again. If you're looking at Heretics, they're crossing the T's, dotting the I's. They are doing what is necessary, right? They've held this kind of more passive, patient default, about 30 seconds. They do need to start building towards the C side. Hard to get past this Viper, though, and Kron is the one with the rifle, 25 seconds. You might be considering that look towards B, but it's the unknown. Mike, they're running this late.
They are, but the flash actually forcing Chronicle off the angle. Can't shut down Miniboo on the way in. The smoke will seal off the side for the time being. Miniboo finds it, Benji to follow up, and it's an in-zone flawless here. But Heretics 4th. Again, kind of calling it a weird pause in between in the previous round, but here it's very tempered, considered. Yes. Fnatic have kind of a ratty setup. I guess is the second wave, but like you said, with both kills coming out on opposite sides of the map, it gives Heretics so many options.
One enemy remaining. Flawless.
Unfortunately, Chronicle can't get much done there with the rifle.
I will find you, Omen.
Ultimates, I guess, well, on the brink of ultimates for Fnatic.
Oh, look at the pace here. Look at this. Right off the rip. Miniboo in, taking space. Does get put down to 25 HP, though. So, yes, he's in the back lines, but he's fragile here. Woot's been denied over towards A, so they're losing out on presence. But this pathing from Miniboo is curious. Rather than sitting safe on CT or backing away, he might have the flank of the century.
They're not expecting this at all.
They have no idea about this. Does he pull the trigger on the first? He does. Spots out 2 more. He doesn't need to do too much. He's got teammates to bank on, and they're there for him. Heretics finding the smallest of margins to operate from. Rienz up against Alpha. Beautiful from Alpha and Kron on the site, but bloody hell, that almost flipped around. Credit to Fnatic, credit to Chronicle and Alpha in the end for doing the damage back. But that felt like it was on a knife's edge there. Heretics with Miniboo's heroics nearly undoing all that damage early on.
Well, it's this sort of scenario, right? Doesn't find a kill, but he's so slippery immediately up into heaven, and he's backstabbing the A-site setup. I mean, it's the timing's fantastic. You almost, in that situation, leave Boaster and go for he's inside his smokes, right? Leave Boaster, go for a second kill, but maybe a little greedy in the moment. But it's Chronicle's 3K on the way back in that swings it for Fnatic.
And it was slick from Kron too. That looked real nice. If he's got a bit more of that, it's game on. A little bit of a high-low setup, it looked like for a second. Over towards that box on A. The downfall of Sugetsu. But at this point, could be rewarded. Kayak has support here. That smoke will occlude some of the vision, but he still has at least one by his side. Now spotted, has to get out of there, and they fall back slightly.
Shadows traveling.
No harm, no foul initially, at least. Boaster down to 85, but still comfortable. in terms of the damage. Unfortunately, Heretics got their sights set towards the position of actually both Alpha and Chronicle. Only one actually got a little high-low set up here, and it delivers.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. Alpha the only one remaining alive, but that's fine. Job done. Spike spotted. Effective trading in, leaving them just with 2. Yeah, Benji's got ult, Boo one away, but I mean, the biggest part is really the paranoia, but the ult angle just so much better. Alpha closing it out with 4 in the end. That little high-low setup, Mike, was the be-all and end-all that round. Fnatic kicking it up a gear now.
Yeah, and it's ballsy as well to commit to that, but both kills initially going their way. Seemingly on the back of nothing. I mean, I believe there was a molly below where they were positioned. Yeah, you can see here on the replay. It just so happens, even when the trade comes through, Alpha delivers even further.
Kron, what is this do, bro? What? They can't do anything to us, bro. What is...
Yeah, rightfully so. Yeah, can't do anything to them. Like I said, it's on the X-ray there when you see they're drifting towards the side, but effectively both stall agents. But pace change here, Lauren.
Yeah, instant tail ult going to come through, but you can see the answer coming back in. Straight away, the Fade ult layered on top as well from Crashy's kind of sending it back, slowing down the pace here. The tempo now denied. Miniboo couldn't take what he wanted there. He couldn't build up from that.
Stopped in their tracks, but an exchange of ultimates at least. Well, Miniboo's actually going to get a second shot at this.
Trying to play him in. Drone's gone in. Oh, you can see what they were trying to do. He does actually catch Chronicle, but there's still Kayak standing. Can't get past both of them, but Boo's broken through over towards Tree, so the fight back kicks in by the door. Fnatic, brilliant priority on the fights here. Really well handled. You could see the tempo and the pressure from Heretics was sky high. Playing through that, it felt like it could have gone either way, but Miniboo being handled after that pick, I don't know how he even got Kron there.
It's on the back of just the one ultimate as well, meaning Fnatic maintain this ult cycle. Everybody except Crashies with theirs available. Again, situation here. Miniboo's got in, he's got the kill, but the space, they can't convert that pressure into space behind Rubble.
Nice, we got
Fnatic find the response here. I do see a timeout. I'm waiting to see.
Yeah, all good, Heretics.
So the music, music kicks in, then I feel a little better about it. Still one to the good in terms of the overall score, but maybe something that Neil's spotted that needs addressing. And all things considered here, it's a broken purchase with Benji down on the Guardian, but some ultimates to make something work.
And yeah, it feels like you can't get a fair fight against Fnatic. You know, as much as Heretics are trying to play in Miniboo very well. I mean, you look at the utility that was being put through towards that blue room, trying to get him played in. You can see the ults there. Everything that came in, he wasn't able to convert cleanly, right? The trade's coming right back through. Yeah, you got down, who was it? You managed to get Chronicle. Okay, Kayak gets the trade. You look over towards C in that previous round. Yeah, you got down Chronicle again, but Alpha's there and gets 4 instead. They are tightening up this spacing perfectly. They are making it very hard for Miniboo to have that freedom that we know he is lethal with. If he's given too much, he can absolutely run away with the game. Right now, not being given over at all, but plenty of ults to play with here, Mike. I'd love to see them start trying to utilize this here.
We've seen anything built around it, but pressure on the back of the paranoia. Force a rotation from Heretics, at least herd them away for the time being. Rian's collects the orb, one away from the Rolling Thunder now. That same set up towards C here behind Alpha and Kron. Difference being here, a lockdown and the pit. So if Heretics get in and find a plant here, unless they can convert it into some sort of pressure into CT, going to struggle here on the retake.
Certainly would. Stalled out. 50 seconds now. That C site just doesn't look all that available. Some of the utility cycling back up though here for Woot.
You can already see now, immediately Alpha slipped into the lockdown position. So I think Heretics are maybe going to explore back towards Rubble. Both are still patrolling, just jump spotting. TP will come through. On the other side of things, actually it's Boo deep now behind enemy lines.
And Bo's trying to get a bit cheeky here, trying to play off the wall, going to catch one, punishes Woot on the cross through towards Tree, but they still have site control. Crashy's nearby with the C still in hand. plant's going to come in, though. Nothing to deny that here. We've got a late lurk as well from Benji coming into play, but that's a while off yet. So these three on the site, Mike, have their work cut out. They've got a lot to handle.
Actually, the Rolling Thunder is going to stall a little bit of time and actually force them deeper in towards the waiting hands. And Benji finally pins it down. Crashes will fall.
Yeah, that got dicey. Miniboo, though, trying to get involved here and gets denied. He's actually got Boaster in that. I didn't... Okay, baffling to me, but fair play. 3v3 now, and they've got problems on the back line, so they try and fight forward. Benji goes down, removes that pressure. Now, time is of the essence. Time to go, Riens. How much can you do?
What?
I mean, where are you meant to go here? It's a gamble.
He's going to get detained.
He can't do anything about it, and the knife's on the way. Chronicle.
The time's already passed,
I thought he was going to go for the knife. Bloody hell. Oh, that's ridiculous.
Just a moment too late there. I think maybe actually on my part, I thought there was another maybe 3 to 5 seconds when the lockdown's invested, but you see that's why he gives it up, gets detained and kind of draws him out.
Yeah.
But again, a very fine margin for Heretics to actually win out here.
Last player standing. Successful. One enemy remains.
That's why we see, I mean, Kayak kind of swinging onto that. He's got no more time to wait, needs to get onto the half defuse as soon as possible. And you can even hear Benji there just kind of crediting the Rolling Thunder, the ult one for Heaven, to force him a little deeper. Wasn't as clean as you'd like, but still got the job done.
Kill's a kill, right? Kill's a kill at this point.
That's what I say.
It's a classic. it's the Hypox special. Similar scenes here, similar starts. Only one player towards that blue room so far, though, so waiting to see if that becomes exploited or even identified. Kayak taking a lot of space over towards Mound as well. Deeper line adopted now with this operator, but you can see the unorthodox angle Benji's trying to play with. Maybe aware of this, maybe considering that this could be in play. Waiting to see who blinks first.
That's the thing with Fnatic there. They're so comfortable being mobile on the defense. And another thing that's been credited is how well Boaster's calling right now. So his mid rounds are probably why we see Heretics so cautious in terms of the... Oh, that's not very cautious.
Oh, that feels awful. After all those compliments, he dies like that, but Kayak trying to hold on to the side here. Should take away Miniboo and slow this down, but he has to respect the ult that came in from Benji. So backs away safely, waits for support, and they'll have to play retake now.
Launching thorns.
A man to the good, call it too, with Riens down at 14 HP. Kayak still looking for something with the operator. Benji up close and personal will get punished. Now a 4v2.
Yeah, this gets tough. 10 seconds still for Wu to even have those salvos online. He kind of needs to play the site. Maybe a little bit unexpected here, but he couldn't convert onto the second, so only one to be had. Leaving Riens with 14 HP and not much to say about the matter. No util to stall, no health to play around. A solid attempt here, but Crashies, a safer pair of hands. Keeping this scoreline nice and close now at 4-5.
And Alpha's... We'll see... Rifle conceded there. He'll be fairly comfortable. Have to see just how it does end up landing. Yeah, Boaster maybe just a complete misread on the timings or noting a few players because he goes for the TP. I guess to catch a rotation towards A. But Crashies wasn't necessarily under any pressure, so I'm curious as to how he's caught off guard there. You see the angle's given up by Kayak with the operator, so there's nothing to stop a dry swing onto him.
Kayak trying to path his way out of what felt like the floor turning into lava, but he does get to keep himself standing. Takes a bit of damage for it, but obviously you can see the buy on the other side for Heretics. As threatening as that felt initially, it is still just Sheriffs here.
Yeah. I'm feeling as if this one's going to be tipped towards Fnatic tying things up.
There.
It's around like this where Miniboo, love to see him have his ultimate, but Spam not connecting for Chronicle, and nothing noted from Crashies either, so it's going to be the, well, I was going to say confirmation on the back of the util potentially, but Crashies does spot a few players, so Chronicle's going to get overwhelmed.
Okay, it was a great target, great selection from Heretics to focus towards Kron, maybe trying to catch him in that like awkward second between util, but Crashies is still here. Good hold on the first, but he takes a lot of damage for it and decides, yeah, no, I don't like this scenario. I don't like what I'm seeing. I need a bit of support here, but Riens and Woot still doing damage. Now, Riens has got the upgrade. It may not be ideal, and it's certainly not going to work out. Alpha controls the site, Sharp on the corner, and they handle all the pressure. Heretics, though, making something of that round, right? It wasn't a complete blowout. It wasn't feeling certainly too safe. They got pressured here.
I guess keeping the economy honest on the side of Fnatic. So finding the 3 kills on the back of just pistols invested. But like you said, great isolation on Chronicle. Unfortunate that Riens can't get much else going with the Odin, but
High five.
things tied up now, 5 apiece. Only ultimate available for Heretics being Woots, but only a couple of orbs for Riens. Miniboo once again straight up the guts here. Plenty of space to work with.
It looked like Alpha was hunting him. He was.
Right, oh, he's got a second!
Alpha! So deadly when he gets into the flow of things. But it's all on Riens again. Heretics hitting those stumbling blocks, and Chrome with that slow crouch around the corner. They've taken the lead away here, Mike. It feels like Heretics have been, I don't want to say read, but Fnatic understand those win cons when they come against this sort of team, when they come against your Miniboos, your Riens, how they're trying to approach it with Woot here, even just compositionally. It feels like they have a very solid footing in handling this.
Yeah, and that almost feels like one of those rounds that's almost strat roulette for Fnatic. They're able to crunch so quickly. After they know Miniboo's kind of slipped in onto B site, in the blink of an eye, there's 2 or 3 kills that favor Fnatic. And Crash is absolutely right there. Yeah, there's no answer to that second wave of pressure. If Miniboo doesn't pin somebody down that first engagement, Fnatic absolutely nail the response.
And again, here we go, another attempt to set up Miniboo, to set him into motion here. And once again, someone falls, someone fails. It's Miniboo and Boo, both going down in the blink of an eye. Fnatic are so well equipped in this game. Heretics, it's rare to see them hit this sort of hard margin where they just can't seem to adjust through. This is brilliant to witness. Now they're going to invest the ult, so try and give them some pathing in. Give them a bit of safety to work with, maybe secure them the plant at the least.
Certainly doesn't feel comfortable though in a 3v5. 2 Guardians and a Stinger to make something from nothing here. Alpha giving the operator 20 HP on him, so expect him to play this one a little slower. Or not, Benji's going to be rewarded here. No. Identified immediately. The spam comes through, not connecting though. But the fault line in return could be interesting.
Nice try, but it's down on just the salvos. They've got so many bodies that they can put to this that I don't know what... I mean, it's a nice try for Woot, but there's nothing more to do, right? Just put the salvos on the spike and let's go next round, because 7-5, Fnatic, once they found that answer, once they identified their win cons, Mike, they have not dropped the ball. This has been a masterclass from Fnatic in response to Heretics. Start from them. Heretics took the initial lead and it was ripped away as Fnatic sit at 7-5. Finally unmuted here, Mike. Really was going for making my point there, but is what it is. But no, 7-5, how do we feel about what we've seen so far? Because I feel like there was a real clear halfway point in that first half that completely changed the pace.
Sure, and not even necessarily I would usually credit towards the timeout, but I think we have to credit it towards Boaster's grasp on the game, right? There's a real turning point there where Heretics aren't rewarded on the front line. They're not rewarded for that initial engagement, and just the mid-round looks absolutely flawless from Fnatic time and time again.
Through them.
Second half, though, new challenges presented here. Can Heretics find a way back through? Because I do feel like, as we said, as we highlighted, and as visually seen, that round 5 hit and then barely got to look back into the game. So patience as a start from Fnatic. No quick moves, no quick looks. Maybe trying to identify any of these little trap plays going on, or maybe get just a glimpse of a player to begin with.
Yeah, definitely cautious. Even the tap of the orb. We'll draw out smoke at least. You call it a little win for Fnatic here. At least a window of opportunity for them, but no real progress to write home about just yet.
It's oddly quiet, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the ping's coming through now indicating Fnatic's intentions.
Gotta go.
At least there, Miniboo will, even if he doesn't see it, will get the minimap confirmation on the back of that peak.
What a strange little round we're having here. The paranoia to break through with the Tejo salvos. Heretics with a little bit of a set play in mind. Boaster tries to make a bold attempt, but Woot's having none of it. He flies in. Yeah, this has been, again, a masterclass from Heretics. They were so ready for that, it felt like. It sat towards B. They kind of had the little setup in mind. The paranoia, the salvos, it was all there.
And there's maybe Fnatic cautious to maybe sniff out a stack somewhere, or maybe a little proactivity, but Heretics very well positioned to deal with that pressure once it finally comes through. There's actually almost a stack of utility invested in here. Yeah, Boaster desperate to try and convert the paranoia, but Woot's close enough to completely mitigate that risk.
Toxins going up.
At least bring it within 1 round now for Heretics.
Oh, the timing. Oh, hold on. Boo's gone down. Is that Bulldog? Which side of the door did that fall on? I guess in front at this point.
Yeah,
so
it should be in front, yeah.
That's a lovely little upgrade if they can get their hands on that.
There.
Wait, where did it go?
No, it was on the other side, I guess.
Yeah?
Yeah, there we are.
Well,
okay. So, got it nonetheless.
Yeah.
Crashy's happy with that.
I mean, it's lucky as well that they can't get there quicker. Miniboo obviously only on a pistol. You can see actually that's probably why Heretics almost over-rotate to respond to that opening pick. What can Crashies do with this rifle though?
2 seconds on the haunt, but he wants that corner. He wants to try and play to this. Clearing through blue room. Certainly indicative of this B pivot now coming in.
Yeah, a
play.
ton of information though with that aftershock being invested.
Yeah, still got a little bit of kit here. Paranoia still in play too. Benji's got to respect this. Fnatic looking hungry, trying gap close on one of them. Any missteps, Heretics are in trouble, so they've got to be really careful about this. And again, Crashies is your danger man. He's got a lot of work in front of him, though, if they want to make something happen with this. Send the C's down towards the connector side, and they try and play together as a pack. Try and stay together, and it looks like they're going to try and frag out together as Crashies does take away Miniboo, and Benji's being held back. And Kayak going to set him up. Just trade me, trade me. He doesn't even need to trade. They've lost down the site, though. A good reaction from Heretics to try and fight this back. Halfway achieved. Crashies has done so well here. And I've got to say, Fnatic has done so well here. There's the horn, sat in the back pocket. It is just perfect. I am absolutely in love with what we're seeing here today.
I mean, the fact that they don't get the half forces the hand of Riens, has to come through and try and push a little deeper. Again, a lucky spam actually outside the smoke that gets the 2 kills onto Fnatic, but Crashy's making that Bulldog work.
And it's just that everyone was playing around it too. It wasn't just, okay, cool, we've got a Bulldog, I'll sit back and play like post-plant. It's get proactive, just trade me, I'll fly in for you. Like everyone playing as a collective, running that is just marvelous to see. And again, to do it against a team like Heretics.
That I missed the guy, but thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
All good. All good. And they flipped the script around. Look at the state of Heretics now.
Well, actually going to get aggressive on the back of the fault line here, potentially. If double stuns come through, mini boot. Good for one, but can they control the spike now? Oh, no. Fnatic
no.
going to respond in kind.
Absolutely not. Even trying to get that Bulldog back is brutal. You know, slides away in the hands of Miniboo. Well, that's gone. I can't get it back here. And we kind of talked about, or even saw earlier on, Fnatic's very slow default in these scenarios where they're happy to take their time, cross off all the list of potentials, very patient. And again, if you're Heretics, I don't mind it. Go for it. Try and make something happen on a round like that. It's no skin off my nose. But obviously it will more than likely be 9 now for Fnatic, who've come into this very well prepared. I feel like we're seeing an elevated Fnatic here, pushed to get stronger and a little bit, you know, further up the, I'd say, preparation list by the likes of Heretics. You can't let Heretics have their way ever.
No, you're absolutely right. They boot other side of the world to what's going on here at A
30
site.
seconds left.
Only a sheriff in hand. I was even thinking about who fell on. I mean, it's crashes that falls, so there's well, potentially a bulldog that's missing over towards spawn. Yeah. I'm not even going to go. Yeah, not even going to go for the rifle. So, and try his luck here with an exit with the sheriff at least. But Kayak and Alpha, yeah, potentially looking to get a little curious. Wow.
Come on, Boo. I'm down. If you want to get a couple more like that.
Give us another. One more.
One of us. NT. But hey, Fnatic 3 standing. Another round on the board. Heretics, I'm waiting for that other timeout to hit now. Like, maybe not in this round, I don't know, but you got to get a grip on this game pretty soon.
I mean, this is going to be double digits. Their money's in the bin.
I mean, getting real close.
Yeah, close to the TP, but still halfway to. I mean, the real playmakers in terms of Miniboo, Woot, and Rians and their ultimates. Really well handled from Fnatic.
Yeah, pick another, bro. Yeah, I'm taking Zip.
Alpha almost hoping he would peek another one. Kind of egging Boo on. A little bit of aggression on the side of Heretics here to try and control this early engagement towards Rubble. Showstopper invested though.
Well,
and Miniboo, yeah, caught with his pants down.
That's how you deal with Miniboo, I guess. Cleared within, you know, still above a minute 15, and Alpha's punished Boo at the same time. It feels like the stars are constantly aligning for Fnatic. Nothing seems to be going wrong, and Heretics can't seem to get anything on their side. And it feels so rare to see, because we've had this run so far in stage 1 has been both of these sides near on untouchable. So seeing Heretics faltering and not having those nice reactions or good timeouts, those, you know, nice adaptations and adjustments, it feels quite of a stark contrast to how that regular player's kind of gone.
Obviously going to be a pretty rough decision to make here if they don't get a kill ahead of Fnatic potentially finding a plant. It's freestanding. It'll be Fnatic on double digits, like I said, the money in the bin effectively for Heretics. Benji not in a position to really stop this. The information will be there. Can he find a kill or two on the backstab? At least one.
Yeah, nice from Benji. Still very paranoid about that very long-term eventual flank that is coming in. Chronicle slowly but surely getting there. He's going to have to bank on the rest of the boys to find some impact. Yeah, Boaster going down does change things here. Bonk. Yeah. Okay, so they know there is a player behind them. Does this then spur them on towards the site? Because there'll always be a little bit of caution shown from Kron, right? You can't just run in there, but Kayak ready to receive. And now Crashies is down low. It's not... Oh! Woot, you are an animal! What is going on with Woot right now? Crashies? 13, not gonna happen. Woot's had a belter of a round. Give me that replay. Some of these shots, it looked ridiculous.
And snatching that away. It was a 5v3 for Fnatic.
Oof.
Great work from Heretics. Again, a player that's delivered time and time again in the form of Woot. And like I said, it makes it a little awkward because at some point there you're thinking, yeah, if Heretics don't find a kill ahead of the plant, I mean, what, somebody falls ahead of being able to establish some sort of formation in the retake, you got to think they're looking towards saving those rifles. So almost a huge bailout.
Oh, we've got a fast start here for Miniboo with the salvos coming in. Yeah, looks like it. Trying to set him up again, but we saw, I mean, well, they don't have Kayak's ult this time, right? So
Yeah,
a little bit different in that regard.
Looking to maybe punish the TP of Boaster across towards Rubble here. Will Boo get oh.
Nah.
The sixth sense is tingling for Alpha.
My spidey senses. And he's not alone in this. He does at least have a player on the side trying to kind of maybe, you know, shoulder it with him. But if that door gets swung, who's in a bit of a bother?
I mean, problem being like Crashies isn't there, Kayak's not there, so they don't really have any util to fish this out.
Yeah, you love that. You love that if you're Boo, right? You've taken a risk, and it's rewarded. Heretics need a couple of those to open up the door to this game again. Threading the needle. There's 3 players now. Try and make something out of nothing. We've got a plant probably on the cards. No one's actively playing from Waterfall. Moot's not investing the ult for that, but they're going to go for the fight towards CT. Opting to try and isolate one. They don't get what they want, so they dip back away.
There.
And now, yeah, the drone being used just a little bit deeper. They're checking on Fnatic here. They're not letting them get aggressive.
Well heard it here. Boaster's found one, but traded out. Just left on
Player standing.
Kayak and Crashies now. A hope and a prayer inside the smoke. Mini boot to find another. It'll be Heretics up to 8 now, chipping away that financial advantage that Fnatic did have. Seeing Chronicle down at 450 and 300, obviously with the plant coming into effect. We'll see just how it lands. Yeah, you're right. Boo, rewarded massively here.
One enemy remaining.
Like I said, it is risky, but you've got to be so diligent with some of these clear. Well, if there's, like I said, if there's no Crashies and no Kayak, kind of that shift walk in and try and pin somebody down the entrance to B main feels so uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're bang on. I mean, as you said, if it wasn't Crashes or Kayak, even if they did try and clear Boo, you still had Woot sat on the side,
yeah, it was a
right?
beautiful
it's like,
crossfire, yeah.
It's util or it's nothing. There's no other way about it. But Mini Boo, bye. What are we up to, Crashies? Just taking a walk, taking a little bit of a wander.
Hang on.
And Kayak taking heads. How has he gone Benji there? Mini Boo, fair enough. Benji, I guess, was just shouldering the corner, but now the plant's potentially open. And they've got some great upgrades. One away from Kayak's ult. This is huge. Alpha's already got his.
Concern being, Rienz and Wu both have their ultimates. Both going to get invested here, and it's looking as if Kayak's going to fall.
Yeah, no escaping that one. No way out. Chronicle. Oh my word, it's awkward.
Weird.
Yeah, had to chase that one down, but what are they meant to do here now? Rien's playing behind the smoke here, desperate to try and defend. Belter on towards Alpha, and now Boaster. Look, we complimented him in this clutch before, but I don't think he can do anything about this.
No.
Boo up on the ledge, making it near on impossible to even spam. Well handled by Heretics, and we're starting to see that like depth to them, right? We're seeing that shift of depth here. Heretics fumbled, they hit a brick wall. Now Fnatic are having those same feelings.
I mean, credit where credit's due. Fnatic springboard off that opener from Kayak. But it's Heretics to win out by the end of that round. Oh, beautiful from Kayak to find. But yeah, Benji just looking to counter swing off it.
Yep.
I mean, at the point where you're thinking, yeah, the Rolling Thunder and Woot's Ultimate have only found the one, there's a chance that Fnatic can
Guys, good job.
kind of re-establish themselves, but again, the kill from Rienz that almost seals Fnatic's fate.
Mate, Rienz is having a heater of a game too. Like,
And a heater of a stage.
Yeah, look, there was room at the top, right? Leo not here, he's been eyeing it up. He's having a little look. He's pretty much filling those shoes. At the moment, sitting at 20-12, top of the board for both sides. Actually, closest nearby, what, 16 for Kayak, who's been doing very well himself, obviously. But timeout for Fnatic. The 3 in succession, enough of a worry, which is respectable. But the adjustments, I'm unsure of where we go from here. You know, what's the look that Fnatic brings out? Because it looks like Heretics have just got that ball-sided roll.
We saw Fnatic establish themselves in the first half. That's interesting. Yeah, Fnatic have the slowest attack side in the EMEA on Lotus. It's 74 seconds, average the plant time. I mean,
The new Na'Vi.
it is reflected in kind of that slow, the kind of pendulum swing default that's just looking for contact somewhere across the map. But
Launching thorns.
I guess the slower rounds are sometimes actually a beautiful setup here. It's only one though. Kayak will find the trade, but damage done to him. He's down to 55, so almost argue Miniboo's over-delivered in that situation. But a beautiful setup though.
Yeah, it's like Miniboo's just like the glass cannon, right? You just throw him in. He'll
See
get
what
you one.
sticks.
Yeah, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But he normally does get his one, which is the scarier factor. And as you said, over-delivered with Kayak now down to 55. But it puts Boo in a predicament. He's going to have to try and deal with Fnatic's slow approach. It feels like death by 1,000 paper cuts at this point, doesn't it? Very slow and steady on the way in. Barely making it past rubble at this point. And we're at 48 seconds.
And Fnatic just edging closer and closer towards A site. I guess that stat kind of reflected in the way that we see Heretics play as well. They're happy to wait things out. They know Fnatic are just going to be drifting back and forth to try and single somebody out.
Face your fear.
It's a big indicator for Boo now. And no paranoia here. Only a smoke to really slow things down. Fnatic will find a plant. 12 seconds left on the clock, so... Absolutely due. Oh, Boo, though. Beheads Alpha, yeah.
See ya, Alpha. Even he's like, wait. How did this happen? So we're going to be down to the 4v3. Kayak playing a little bit further ahead. And he's going to go for it. Oh my god, that could have been huge.
Wow.
Oh,
Look at the damage done, though.
HP. Yeah, C's on top. Crash, he's hungry for it now. Oh my god, he was thinking about it. The time ticking, they got to move forward. Finds one, looks for a second, gets it. Control is there for Crashies. 3 in the end, set in motion by the ult from Kayak. And Fnatic just get across the line.
And I think you see the moment there that Crashes gets the info. As soon as Kayak sees his damage after he falls, he's like, yeah, you don't need to challenge.
I have
And that was the
stays.
opener there. Nothing
One tap.
for Chronicle to really do in that situation. But yeah, Crash's beautiful adjustment. Actually, the paranoia coming through at the perfect time as well.
Toxins going up.
That will get Fnatic back on top, or I guess, well, argue back in control, but at least double digits on the board now.
Probably one of the best imports that we've seen. Got to say it, Crashies, from what was a very shaky start. There was a lot of people putting question marks by his name. Could he ever even get close to the level of performance previous? You've got to say it, throughout this stage, he has been outstanding.
I think as well, it's one of those situations where you have to almost address the out of game as well. He's really come out of his shell in terms of his personality, and it's a lot more vocal. You can see he's smiling a lot more.
Happiness, what's that like?
Yeah, wow.
Wrong person to ask.
I was going to misspeak there, but
Well,
considering the paranoia on the side of Boo, but holding on to it for the time being. A huge hole in the defense here towards B site. The retake's going to be tested once more.
yeah, it's gonna have Kayak on his own for a moment here, though. Turns the flash. You just can't flash Zoomers like this. I swear to God. Oh my! I thought he had a follow up there, but it's Boo and Mini Boo in quick concession. How? How did both of them just rack them up like that? Alpha.
Well, screw the retake.
Sorry.
The pre-take
Alpha.
was absolutely perfect.
Alpha has been absolutely bullied by Boo like twice now. That one tap before, it's like he's playing against Scream, but only Boo against Alpha. That's the only time he's hitting those. It's ridiculous.
I'd love to see how this engagement actually pans out on B, though.
30 seconds.
I mean, yeah,
Ooh.
that's crispy from Boo.
Like, you expect it from Mini Boo, right? You're like, yeah, fair play.
That's the wrong Boo.
Yeah. Big man Boo.
But Boo does have those moments where he does shine.
Look, we've had a couple of IGLs starting to pick up the mechanical side of things too. Like, this isn't a good example of a game, I guess, in that regard for Boaster. He's on 8 to 15, he's fine. But I think a lot of people have been saying, like, mechanically, he's looking a lot sharper with it. We've obviously got Boo out here doing wonders.
Absolutely agree. I think Boaster, I mean, the Deska, I think even word for word said this. Individually, I think he's looking in the best shape he's ever been.
True.
And
True. Have we got a 4-play stack? Hold on.
Ooh. Do they fight for it?
Oh, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. But Miniboo clearing it up, takes away Boaster, removes that initial threat and initial presence. And Fnatic are once again reset down to 4 with no space to work with.
Yeah, same sort of thing we saw earlier, trying to punish that TP. This time it pays off. B site though, Woot gonna have to deliver. Finds the first. Able to slip away though. Now on the X-ray you see a triple stack behind this Alpha. Gotta be crazy to swing back onto it.
3 players in the middle of the map.
Cover going out.
A lot of pressure on Boo now. Has to fall off that. Willing to post up on the angle, and for Alpha, it is his nemesis. Which is wild, that Boo is getting the better of Alpha. Not something that I'd be banking on all that often, but Crashies! Banging shot, and Boo once again does it. He's got Alpha's number, what feels like every day of the week, but Chronicle and Crashies have a long road to walk, and they're not getting many steps towards it. Crashy's already gone, leaving Chronicle not to be able to do anything. Heretics swinging that pendulum back in their favor.
At just the right time as well. Find themselves 11. Ultimate's available for Fnatic, but it's only really Boaster and Chronicle. And one away for Crashies, so maybe there's something that will set in motion a set piece. But this one's over before it's even started, to be honest with you.
One enemy remains.
With Boaster getting isolated like that.
Nice!
Yeah, maybe feeling the heat a little bit, because we got Fnatic's second timeout now. Again, lots to consider. Boaster 3,500, he's going to be able to get potentially a rifle and a shield together. Certainly not comfortable. That's kind of everything left in the tank, Lauren, so...
Yeah, and look at those string of rounds as well. I know you guys can't see it, but it has been mostly that Heretic side. From round 16 onwards, it's been solidly in their favor. And you're looking at the financials, Mike, they're up to like 6K almost. They got ults coming online. One away from Benji's. You've already got Miniboo's, Boo's, Rien's all sitting there. Woot's a little way off, but it's not the end of the world. On the other side, one away from Crashies. Will have his ult if he can get something going this round. Obviously, Chronicle's got his and Boaster's got his, but other than that, they're scraping the barrel in this round financially. They're gonna have to try and put together anything they can here and find their response, because they've had a couple of bailout moments, sure, but we need a complete answer.
Yeah, we do. See, which is the worst initiator on Lotus?
Rien's disagrees.
Yeah.
Rien's?
I'm seeing something that contradicts that a little bit.
Don't seem right. Don't seem right. Like, I believe you, but it don't seem right.
Rien's kind of shitting on that stat, I'll be honest.
Oh my god, you said a naughty word. Please, Michael. I can't believe you're being this unprofessional.
It's because I'm at home.
But Miniboo trying to, again, take that space, still stay confident, stay in their faces here, but it is asking a lot. There's 3 players on the other side. We know Fnatic's tempo is cautious, it's slow, it's methodical. Now, we've seen in the past him having the support from Benji out here, so it's hard to know what you're completely walking into. Fnatic need to get that full picture first.
Similar approach once again for Fnatic. No pressure point to really focus on so far. Got a ton of utility positioned over here. And it's Benji and Woot. The Woot desperate to try and sniff out the approach, but forced back a little deeper now. Fnatic almost... I don't want to say... oh yeah, I was going to say hesitated, but...
You don't get that easy pivot here. And look at the space taken back. They're getting herded. They've got no room to work with. They're going in somewhat blind towards the safe site. Yeah, Benji is going to be considered, but it doesn't really stop him from being here. The paint shell going to go in. He's fine. It's very close. It's very tense, but on 15 seconds, that spike is not up. It's behind the wall. They've walked in late to this. Fnatic having to dig deep here. But Rien's doing the dance on the back of the site, and there's a problem. Miniboo swings. Oh, and he's focusing the back lines. It is divine work from Mini Boo. Perfect target placement. I thought he made a meal of it, but absolutely not.
It looks like it because you always think, yeah, Boaster's got to commit towards the plant. And then the other two players not able to defend him, regardless. A crazy conclusion to that round, but the clock ultimately being a huge factor here.
One enemy remaining.
See on the replay. Yeah, that's ridiculous for Mini Boo.
Let's go!
Up to 12 now. It's going to be absolutely loving it. Guardians, a Bulldog, and a Sheriff in the hands of Boaster. Feels like Heretics in prime position. Take this first map now. I don't know how Boaster's not taking an attack there, but the second
Not ready yet.
being punished here in terms of the inventory.
I mean, look at those light shields, Mike.
Yeah, exactly.
3 of
Yeah,
them
this
left.
Scope's going to do work here.
And the one player who had bigger armor was Boaster, who's now on 10 HP.
Are we sure Boaster's not on another server? Shots are going through him.
Oh, mate. Okay, Fnatic, where do we go now? Battered and bruised. And Boo still patrolling with that Outlaw. B doesn't feel good. A doesn't feel open. You're walking in late. You haven't cleared through rubble. This is looking absolutely chopped up. I don't know how they're going to get through here. I don't think they can. 38 seconds. What's the go-up? Oh, whoop.
15 HP.
Yeah, that's a good step. Kayak's ult, okay, 30 seconds now. Clearing through towards tree, but there's still store here. There's still that wall, so they can't approach through that left side. Benji pops the ult, cool. 20 seconds, Mike, they're leaving this so late.
Yeah, it's starting to get really awkward now. Showstopper completely shut down by Boo.
Love it,
Paranoia
voice
to slow
line
things
stopper.
down. Yeah.
10 seconds left.
Look, you can do the TP. I don't
no
think
time.
you've got time.
Oh,
No. Oh, that's so sick. Kron, it's a formality as Heretics claim the first at 13-10. A brilliant affair between these two already. This Lotus game was a treat to watch. Heretics under the gun there initially, Mike, but the turnaround in that second half was incredible. I can't wait to see how this one goes down. We do have Haven coming up next, so don't go too far away.
Guys, I'm Fnatic. GS is following. They're done.
My Crash is not doing. Hey! Okay.